What's up, my rays of sunshine? Welcome back for a new video. I just want to start off by saying that I'm so sorry that it has taken me so long to post a new video. It has truly been a busy end of the month for June. I ended up going on my beach trip that I was telling y'all about and getting my hair done, getting new glasses. I was really jam-packed and I did film a video. I just never got the chance to edit it, so I probably still will be posting that now that I'm back home, so do be on the lookout for that. It's another reading vlog. Yeah, so I just wanted to say once again that I'm sorry that you had to wait so long for another video, and if you're still here, I'm glad that you stuck it out. Today we are going to be doing the mid-year freakout tag because it's the middle of the year. Everybody's posting their tags, so I figured it was time for me to post mine as well. So I have the questions here on my iPad. I got my big old stack of books next to me, and let's just go ahead and dive right into it and talk about all the books that I've read so far in 2024. The first question of the tag is how many books have I read this year, and I have read 28 books this year, which is awesome because that means I am 2 books away from meeting my Goodreads goal, which is 30. So I'm really excited about that. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna keep it at 30 this year and like surpass the goal because I typically never meet my Goodreads goals and then I get really like discouraged because I typically set it for like 50 and never meet it. Knowing that I'm that close to finishing my goal for the year is really exciting, and I think I'm just going to keep it at 30 like I said, so that way I can surpass it rather than raising it and not meeting it and disappointing myself again. So yes, I've read 28 books so far this year. Okay, so question number 2 is the best book that I have read so far in 2024, and for that I decided to pick Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. I had another pick for this book, or for this question, but it is a sequel, so I figured I'd save it for the next question, which is the best sequel, so we'll get to that in a second. But after backtracking, I really looked through all the books that I've read, and I just thought Legendborn was it. It just really took me by surprise, and I knew that I was probably going to enjoy it because it had a lot of the things that I typically really enjoy in books, but it really just surpassed my expectations in the themes that it talked about and the fantasy world and the politics and just everything that was in this book. I ate it up. I loved it, and I'm so excited for the third and final book to come out. I think it's coming out in January, so I still got a bit to wait, but yes, Legendborn, I ate it up. I binged it and I do not regret it. It is by far my favorite book that I have read this year. And then question number 3 is the best sequel that I've read in 2024. And honestly, like, I had to pick The Raven King by Nora Sakovic because the All for the Game series has become my newest obsession, and that's why it was really hard for me to pick another book for the previous question because as much as I love Legendborn, it has not nearly taken over my life as much as the All for the Game series. And this sequel, The Raven King, I haven't read the other 2 books yet. We'll get to talking about them in a couple minutes, but this so far is just like, it's turning into such a crazy story and like in such a dark and deep and depressing way, and so I really am so scared for how the rest of the series is going to go because in the very beginning of this book, like, something sad had happened at the end of book 1, and you're kind of seeing the characters deal with that grief and how that changes their team dynamic and everything like that. But when you get to the second half, shit really just hits the fan, and it was so crazy. I could not put this book down. I'm obsessed with these characters. I'm obsessed with their found family. I'm obsessed with this ever so slight romance you get in here. And this series is so unhinged, and I never stop thinking about it. Like, my birthday's coming up in a couple days, and I'm really thinking about ordering myself the special edition versions that I found for this series because I just love it that much. I never buy special editions, but when I do, you know, it's because I love a book or a series. And this book, I have to read the other 2 soon because I have not been able to stop thinking about this book since. It's so heavily annotated. I don't know if you can see that here, but I annotated the heck out of this book. I have like 8 different tabs and it's just, I'm so excited to get into the next books in the series. And I love the All for the Game series, so I had to pick this for the best sequel, and everybody should read it. It's great. It's unhinged. It's like so much fun, but so messed up. I can't even say it's fun, but it's a great series. So, best sequel by far, The Raven King by Nora Sakavic. Question number 4 is a new release that I haven't read yet but want to, and we are going to stick with the All for the Game series with this In the Sunshine Court. This is the newest release. It literally just got released like a month or two ago, and I'm pretty sure that no one knew that it was coming, and so Nora Sakavic really just like threw a baseball bat at our heads, which, what does that even mean? Okay, anyway. So she really just said, hey, I've been gone for like 10 years, here's a new book. And so I think it's going to be like a companion series that follows one of the characters from the All for the Game series. His name is Jean. And so you're following his story, and that's all I know, and that's all I want to know. But everyone and their mother who has read this book has said that this book, this one book, is the most traumatic book. It's like all 3 of the All for the Game books, their level of trauma in just this one book. And so I'm so scared yet so excited to read it, because I really just want to, I just can't get enough of these characters. I'm reading from a different perspective, of Jean's perspective, where he grew up with the ravens rather than the foxes. I know it's going to be terrible, and I know it's going to be traumatizing, but I am so excited to read it because, as I've just stated a million times, I'm obsessed with this series, and I'm obsessed with this world and Nora Sakavic, and yeah. So the Sunshine Court, I will be getting to it this month because I'm participating in another readathon, the Little Cafe readathon. I chose this book and The King's Men for 2 of my prompts. So I will be finishing or catching up with this series this month, and I'm so excited to do so. Question number 5 is the most anticipated release for the second half of the year. And for this, I ended up choosing Somewhere Beyond the Sea by T.J. Klune, which is the prequel novel to The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. I'm so excited for it because The House in the Cerulean Sea is like one of my favorite books ever. I just love it. It was such a great story of like found family and fantasy and romance, and it was just so wholesome. I love that book, and I always think about it, and I love it so much. And so when I heard that they were coming out, or that TJ Klune was coming out with a prequel, I instantly knew that it was going to be a must buy, must read at that current moment. So I don't know when it's coming out. I think it's coming out in like September, October, November, somewhere around there. When it does, I'm definitely going to be buying it the day it comes out, and I'm going to hopefully read it as soon as I possibly can because I'm so excited for it. Question number 6 is the biggest surprise read that you've had, and for this one I decided to pick A Ladder to the Sky by John Boyne. This was our besties book club pick like a couple months ago, and I did not know what I was getting into when I was reading this book. I had no idea what it was about. The blurb on the back was really vague, and all I knew was that this is the author who wrote the book The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, and if you don't know what that book is, it's very, very sad. I didn't know what to expect going into this, and honestly, I had such a great time reading this. It was so dramatic in like all the best ways. I think people describe this book, or like Goodreads describes this book as a thriller. Honestly, I don't really consider it to be a thriller. I kind of consider it to be like a drama book, because it's just like, it's so, I don't even know how to describe it. Basically, it's about this guy named Maurice, and his biggest dream in life is to be a writer, but he has like no talent. And so basically he ends up using other people who are either like attracted to him or want to be his friend or whatever, and he uses them to steal their stories and publish them under his name. And basically it just gets so absurd, and like Maurice is one of the worst people out there. Like, me and the besties were talking about how much we hate him, but I just had like such a good time. I ate this book up because I just thought his mindset was like so funny to me because he genuinely like didn't see that what he was doing with the plagiarism and stealing and all this other stuff, he genuinely didn't know that what he was doing was wrong. He thought he was giving these books a different life and all this other stuff, and it was just really interesting to see. But also it would be funny because he would meet like certain people who would like realize what he was doing and they would like rip him apart. But this guy was ruthless. He did anything and everything to get what he wanted, and in the end it came back, of course, to bite him in the ass. And it was just a ride. I loved this book, and I instantly decided to pick up his other book. I have it right here, The Heart's Invisible Furies, which I know is not anywhere like this, because I'm pretty sure this book is basically just about this guy named Cyril, I don't know if I pronounced that right, and it basically just talks about him and his life growing up as a gay man in Ireland. And that's all I really know, so I'm gonna leave it at that. But after I read this, I had to give it a 5 stars just because I did get bored at certain times, but it just, like, the moments where I wasn't, I just had a great time, and the way it ended, I was laughing so hard. So I just had to give this 5 stars because I just honestly had a great time reading it, and I'm gonna love the heck out of The Heart's Invisible Furies, I can already tell. And I did also annotate this one. I just had a great time. I had a great time with this book, and I really recommend that people read it because I think John Boyne should definitely get a lot more credit or popularity than he currently has. Question number 7 is a favorite new author, whether they are a debut or they're new to you. And of course, I had to pick Nora Sakavic. I'm not going to get into it anymore. I'm just obsessed with her. I'm obsessed with the writing. I'm obsessed with the world. I'm obsessed with the characters. I just love her. And she is new to me. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Nora Sakavic, 100%. Can't say anymore. Question number 8 is going to be another rant because it is newest fictional crush. And there was no one else I could possibly pick for this question other than Itsuomi from A Sign of Affection. This man right here is so swoon-worthy. He takes care of Yuki, he spoils her, he learns sign language for her, he travels, he's multilingual. Like, there is literally no cons to this man. No cons. And literally, I saw Throne of Pages pick him for this question too, and I had to comment instantly and be like, you know, the girls who get it, get it. Like, he is the definition of a perfect man. And I can't, just thinking about him, I have rated every book in this series 5 stars simply from the way that their relationship is. At any chance he gets, he will like try and communicate with Yuki in sign language to show her like what he's learned. He is so kind to everybody. He's smart. He has tattoos. He has these different hairstyles. Like, he's so physically attractive, but also so like intellectually and emotionally attractive. I just swoon over him every time. My bestie Beth, she will send me pictures of panels of him from volumes I haven't gotten to yet, and I'm so excited to read the rest of the series to see what he does. Oh, he's the best, and I can't wait to watch the anime and like watch him in animation and like moving and talking. I can't wait. I'm so excited to hear his voice. There is no better book boyfriend than Itsuomi. And if you haven't read A Sign of Affection yet, I say this in literally every single video I make. Read A Sign of Affection. If you love manga, if you want to get into manga, don't care. Read A Sign of Affection. It is so worth it. It is so worth it. It gives me all the serotonin I could possibly need in my life. Question number 9 is on the opposite side of the spectrum, which is books that made me cry. I typically do not cry when I read. I wish I could feel so deeply. Like, I do feel the emotions in my heart, but I don't really like sob. But I have teared up in 2 books this year, and so I couldn't decide between the 2 which one made me feel more. So I just decided we'll talk about both of them. Ooh. All right, so the first one is Shark Heart by Emily Habeck. Shark Heart is an insane story, and I honestly did not know what to expect coming in because I mostly picked this as my book of the month for the cover, and then I read the synopsis, which the synopsis is you follow this couple, Ren and Lewis? Why can't I remember his name now? Yeah, Ren and Lewis, and they're like in their first year of marriage when they find out that Lewis has gotten diagnosed with this like really rare disease where he's going to be transforming into a great white shark. And the thing about this book is that it's not only about Lewis and Ren's relationship, like that is the overarching story, yes, but it is also about Ren's relationship with her mom. So I'm not gonna get into any more details than that, but this book did make me cry a little bit because I was listening to a book playlist for it. Like, if you do not do that, please, you should start, because the way that the book playlists on Spotify affect the reading experience, it hits so hard. So like I'm reading this one part and it's so sad and it's so emotional, and then just having the really sad fitting music for it, it just like elevates the experience. Like even last night, this is a bit of a tangent, but last night I was reading Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, and I was reading this one part where like one of the main characters is finding out about their feelings for the other one, and Red by Taylor Swift came on, and I was like not sobbing, but you know, I was like freaking out because I was like, this song is just perfect for this moment. And then like They Don't Know About Us by One Direction came on, and it was just like song after song was just hitting so hard with the plot of what was happening. And the same thing happened with Shark Heart. And so I really just got in my feels because this sad thing also just made me think about my personal life and just thinking of like, what would happen if this was like me and my boyfriend? And so I got all in my feels in that way, and it was just a really emotional time. And I think everybody should read Shark Heart to really just learn about the ways that love can affect us in many different forms of relationships. And then the second book is one that I just read, and that's The Stationery Shop by Marjan Kamali. This book made me cry also in the way of, this book is about lost love. And when I found out the reason that these two couldn't be together, I was breaking down, because basically this book takes place in 1950s Iran, and it follows this girl who goes to a stationery shop every Tuesday, and she ends up meeting this boy, and they end up falling in love. And then one day he sends her a letter to meet him at this like town square, and as she's going to that Times Square, a riot, the coup d'etat of 1953, ends up taking place, and she gets sucked into that, and he never showed up. And then you fast forward to following her throughout her life and how that moment affected her, and eventually they meet up again in the present day, and it's just so heartbreaking and like devastating, but it's also so romantic, and I just could not help but tear up at the end when everything just comes full circle and wraps up, and it is just so much. And I cry. Like, I wish I had gotten my reaction to the end of this book on camera, because I was going through it. It was truly a time. And this book, I think about it, and I had no words, and I still have no words for having to describe how this book made me feel. So yes, The Stationery Shop and Shark Heart made me definitely tear up, definitely. On the opposite side of that spectrum, you have a book that made me happy, and once again, I'm not going to talk too much on it, but A Sign of Affection, it always makes me happy. Whenever I need that boost of like happiness or a break between sad books or whatever, I always go to A Sign of Affection. It's always just really wholesome vibes with love and friendship and just like discovering love, and A Sign of Affection always makes me so happy. And I'm gonna cut it off there because I don't want to rant again about how much I love this series. So it looks like it's about to storm over by where I live, so I did turn on the light, so hopefully you guys can continue to see me because I was starting to worry my lighting was crapping itself. The next question is the most beautiful book that I have bought or received this year, and as I was looking through my bookshelves, I knew that I had to pick Dragon Fruit by Makia Lucier, and hopefully I'm getting it in the frame, but this book is just absolutely gorgeous, and I literally picked this book for my book of the month because of the cover. Like, I saw it and I could not say no because it's just gorgeous. I'm really excited to read it. I think it's gonna be a great time. But yes, this is definitely 100% the most beautiful book that I've gotten this year. Just look at it. Let's get a moment for her glory. Yes. Question number 12 is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And for this one, I was looking through my books, and honestly, I'd just be happy to read any of the books on my physical TBR. And then it sparked the idea in my head of just creating or doing the what's on my physical TBR video, because I don't know if you can see it back here, but this entire bookshelf is my physical TBR. So I definitely do want to make a video going through all of them, so that way you guys can comment and let me know which books I should prioritize throughout the rest of the year. But honestly, I'd just be happy to finish any of them. So yeah. Question 13 is, how many 5-star books have I had this year? And honestly, I have really been giving out the 5 stars this year because I really am just one of those people that if I have a great time reading it, even if it's like the trashiest book I've ever read, if I had a great time reading it, I will give it 5 stars. And should I be a little bit more picky? Probably, but life is too short to be giving out 4.75s and 4.35s and like all of these like super picky ratings, in my opinion. So when I do, I really do try to rate with whole numbers or 0.5s if anything. And this year I've just had a really good reading year. I've had a great time reading a lot of books. So I have had 9 5-star books so far, and I'm just gonna go through them real quick. So the first book that I rated 5 stars this year was Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home. I always rate the Magnolia Park's books 5 stars because they are truly works of art. I love them so much and so heavily annotated, and I have to continue on with this series soon. And then the next book that I've rated 5 stars is literally every single volume of A Sign of Affection that I've read this year. I think I've read volumes 1 through 4 at this point, and they don't deserve anything less than 5 stars. So I've given them all 5 stars. And then I've also given The Bromance Book Club 5 stars. I ate this book up, had such a great time reading it. It was such a different type of romance book than I typically read, and I ate it up. I loved it. It was such a great time, and I am also excited to continue on with this series. So I rated that 5 stars, and then I also, of course, rated The Raven King 5 stars because it destroyed me emotionally, mentally, you know, all the things. So that was also 5 stars. Legendborn was also 5 stars. Took me by surprise. Knew I was going to enjoy it, but did not know I was going to love it as much as I did. So of course, it had to be 5 stars. And then A Ladder to the Sky was 5 stars. Loved the writing, loved the entertainment value, 5 stars. And then the most recent book that I did rate 5 stars was The Stationery Shop. Made me cry a little bit, loved the writing, loved the story. It destroyed me. I didn't know what else to talk about it. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. So yes, those are all of the books that I've rated 5 stars so far. And we are slowly wrapping this tag up. So question 14, what books do I want to reread this year? And I'm not a huge person when it comes to rereading books. I really just kind of like to do one and dones, but if Daisy Jones and the Six has taught me anything, it's that rereading books can actually improve your enjoyment in them. Since Somewhere Beyond the Sea is coming out, I figured that I might reread The House in the Cerulean Sea and go through and annotate it more heavily. This is my special edition copy from Barnes & Noble, and I love it. I will not touch her, but the other copy that I do have is already annotated. But I figured just to refresh my mind and fall in love with the story before the next book comes out, I'd give this one a reread. But we'll see. Can't make any promises. Like I said, don't reread books often, so we'll see. Question 15 is a book that I enjoyed with mixed reviews. And I didn't really know what to pick for this book, but when I was scrolling, I feel like my answer for this question is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, I think is who it's by. Icebreaker was another book that I really just enjoyed based on entertainment value. And I think I rated it like a 4 stars. It was not a good book. And I know why it had mixed reviews because, of course, all the book talk girlies love it. It is smutty. It is goofy. It's a sports romance. That's another thing that book talk loves. So when I went into it, I really was just looking for a good time. I listened to it on audio, and quite frankly, I just did have a good time. And so that's the only reason why I rated it as high as I did. If I was reading it in a more critical mood, then I probably would have rated this book like 2 stars, but because I was literally just looking for something goofy and fun, I rated it 4, and it's kind of like the fine print because that's what I did with that one as well. I just had a great time. But I know that Icebreaker truly is one of those books where you either really love it and you're trash for it, or you really hate it and think it's probably the worst book you've ever read in your entire life. So the final question for this tag, question 16, is my 5-star predictions for the rest of the year. The first one that I picked out was Daisy Hates and the Great Undoing. This is the next book that I have to read in the Magnolia Parks universe. And I also do have Magnolia Parks Into the Dark, which I will also probably rate 5 stars. But that book is humongous. But so I knew that I was going to rate Daisy Hates because I do enjoy the Daisy Hates books more than I enjoy the Magnolia Parks books. And I know that is a common opinion, but I still also feel bad saying it. But yes, I do predict that I will be giving this one 5 stars because the other 2 books have been 3 books have been 5 stars. And then, no shocker here, but The King's Men and the Sunshine Court are most likely also going to be 5 stars. So, yay! If you sticked around till the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a great time, and truly, if you are still here, thank you for sticking around and waiting until I posted my next video. I'm sorry it's been such a long wait. It's not gonna continue to be a long wait. I'm still gonna upload more consistently. I do have videos planned. I have a vlog that is waiting to be edited. So yeah, look forward to those. And if you are any of my Discord buddies, please keep me accountable and make sure that I post videos. Because now like 3 of you have called me out and it has really motivated me to film this video. So yes, but that was my mid-year freakout tag. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. If you would like to do this tag yourself, I will put the questions in the description below. And I will see you in my next video, whenever that will be. I love you guys. Bye!